Countdown over, live stream started. Hello world. Oh, halfway through the week, past the hump of hump day, at least where I am. It's going to vary depending where in the world you are, and I guess also when you watch this, because some people do watch it after the live stream, and some people watch from different time zones. So nothing is absolute in this strange universe of ours. Hello, Raiders and Megaleech. What does that mean, Raiders? Look up dollars, a story. I don't know what that means or how I would do that. But I'm sure you will help me with that. I'm just looking at news headlines to see if anything leaps out at me. And nothing really does, honestly. Right, that one. Yes, I have heard of that. There is this strange thing happening on Reddit where some Redditors have basically memified stock investing, and they seem to have created some bubbles, making stocks both surge and drop precipitously for no real reason. But then again, that's just the stock market. The stock market is complete fucking bullshit, and I lean somewhat to the side of the Redditors who are essentially just exposing what colossal bullshit the stock market actually is. Remains to be seen how far this will go. I mean, stocks surge and drop for just the stupidest reasons. It's like back in the glory days of Pokemon Go, when it first came out and everyone was playing it, Nintendo's stock surged, and then Nintendo had to tell the stock exchange, we don't own Pokemon Go. It's licensed to another company, Niantic. And so then Nintendo stock precipitously fell. The stock exchange is just slot machines for rich pricks, and hedge funds are literally the scum of the fucking earth. Every single one of them should make close friends with a wood chipper, in my opinion. And so, yes, if some Redditors decide to maliciously disrupt the lives of hedge funds, I'm all for it, basically. People say, you could damage the economy. Okay, well, if the economy wasn't already fucked, and if it wasn't already imaginary, you couldn't fuck with it, okay? It's these actions are pretty much just basically exposing the bullshit of the stock markets and hedge funds in particular. So I'm pretty much on board with fucking them up. Yeah, that's it. Wall Street Bets. That's the one. The subreddit Wall Street Bets. I did see someone post on it. They explained their view of it. Basically, a meme video essay. They just the bit from the Joker movie where he's on the talk show and just changed all the subtitles to be, instead of a talk show, it's that Mad Money with Jim Cramer, who is oh my God, how that guy's not in prison, I'll never know. But it's like, a fictional Redditor explaining to Jim Cramer why they're fucking things up. And it's pretty well done, actually. Ooh, I hadn't seen that, Raiders. 100 kilometers an hour winds in Melbourne. Let me see. Is the Bureau warning me? Oh, come on. What the fuck? Fuck is this shit? Oh, trying to work out their interface. Severe weather warning. Top priority, immediate broadcast, damaging winds. Central, southwest, west, south, Gippsland? 40 to 60k with gusts of 80 to 90. Strongest winds, eastern suburbs of Melbourne and Port Phillip Surf Coast. It's all around Melbourne. All right, I just have to respond to that. I'll be back in a second. She's saying she's feeling a bit sick and wanted me to turn on the air conditioning. It is hot in those front rooms. Yes. All right, I'm back. A little household thing I had to respond to. So, yes, going to be windy in Melbourne, or the surrounds of Melbourne, I think a bit more accurately. And anyone who's out on the water, I think, needs to be a tad careful. So, me, I shall stay safely inside. I think I qualify as southeast suburbs. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'm not that far from the bay. I'm not Bayside. I'm actually quite a few suburbs away from Bayside, but I am in that general direction. So maybe shall be getting high winds. It hasn't really started yet. We shall see what the evening brings, I guess. The mysteries of life being revealed to us, maybe. And as you might be able to tell, because I'm in my cocktail making clothes, I'm going to make a cocktail tonight. I'm going to make a vegan Brandy Alexander to go on my cocktail channel on Friday, because it's Brandy Alexander Day on the weekend. So that seems like a good excuse. Rated you. Yeah, it's my bin night, yes. Your very full green waste bins are down the end of your 150-meter driveway. God damn, I got about a 10-meter driveway. But yes, got the green bin ready earlier. Been trimming various things around the garden to fill up the green bin. Does everyone have green bins now? I suppose it must be pretty widespread around the world. I don't really know if anyone in the world still has just a single bin. The first sort of radical newness was to have a recycling bin, and then there was the green bin. And I know some areas have 4 or maybe even 5 bins, and I don't even remember what the separation between those bins were. Don't actually remember where it was. Might have been somewhere in Australia, or it might be planned for here, actually. Holy shit. How much did you jam into the bins, Raiders? 100 kilograms each. I mean, you can jam a lot into a green bin. That is true. Yeah, you must have been doing some serious gardening to 2 bins about 100 kilograms each. Almost weighs as much as me. Yeah. You'd stick me in one of your green bins. God, there is actually a case, wasn't there, where a body was found in a wheelie bin a day or so ago. Kind of makes me sound like a jerk now. Well, when am I not making myself sound like a jerk, quite honestly? All right, as you're on an acre, so yeah, you've been doing some clearing from the sounds of it to fill up the wheelie bins. Yes. Mrs. Angry does most of the gardening, and I did dragoon my lad into slavey duties like, hey, see that hedge? You got to trim it and put it in a green bin. Because I bought you food and drink. So now, indentured servitude, you have to work for it. So, yes, did get a bit of that action happening. Jesus. Okay, someone you went to school with was murdered, put in a wheelie bin, and thrown off the local jetty. Jesus Christ. That could be it, Raiders. The extra recycle bin for glass only. Instead of a single recycle bin, have one for paper and cardboard and one for glass. I think that is it. Encased in concrete. Jesus. Which is actually not very smart. And I guess the unpleasant murderer person who did this thought it will sink and never be found. But off a jetty, it's not going to be that deep. And encasing a body in concrete would actually preserve it. You got to do a Dexter if you want to get away with it for a while, at least. You got to drop the weighted bodies out in deep water, or hope a shark gets them. So, yeah. Great. There's a Melbourne podcast called Dead Bodies. I'm sure there is. The whole true crime thing. And I don't know if this makes me a square. I've said this before. I'm not particularly comfortable with true crime podcasts. And I know several of them purport to have, found new evidence in cold cases and actually brought miscreants to justice. But I don't know. I cannot get past this feeling that they're a bit creepy and it's a bit exploitative. And I suspect in podcast world that is not a popular view, but yeah, I'm just really uncomfortable with those true crime podcasts because it's a huge genre. Because one or two early crime podcasts, did bring evidence in cases to light and was really raised the profile of the genre and made everyone think they could do it. But yeah, I cannot get past the feeling it's a bit creepy and exploitative. Because, in one form or another, that genre has been around for a while. You go back to Truman Capote's In Cold Blood. That was a book, but it was essentially the same approach as the true crime podcasts, investigating a rather sensational crime and, potentially unearthing new evidence. But Annette, I'm sure there are shades. You're saying it depends how it's done. I'm sure some are done better than others and less exploitatively than others. But yeah, I just can't shake I don't know, there's something a bit creepy going on there. Mind you, there's a shit ton of stuff that I'm into that people probably look at and go, well, that's creepy as fuck. Why are you listening to stories about the worst people in history? I think. And you like Dr. Grand's take on it. His psychoanalysis makes sense of the senseless, gives a feeling of safety. And I do not know who Dr. Grand is, but yeah, I do know a lot of people who popularized like investigating the psychology of serious criminals have kind of repeatedly been shown to be talking shit. Doesn't stop their work being interesting, though. But once you're in the fields of psychology, you're always going to get people arguing because there aren't absolutes. As you get a lot of hypotheses as to what means what and what causes what. You can, get more evidence to support one. Okay, cool. Thank you, Annette. Tag me next time you share one of these videos to Facebook. Speaking of, Megaleech said he sent me a link. And what is it a link to? Oh, God, that's the person you went to school with. What in the bin? How long ago did that happen? 2000. That's an old story. Okay. Yes. Yeah, well, there's one that happened in Melbourne surrounds, I think, where the identity of the murder victim was only just confirmed. I just realized. I suppose it's the thing people do. And in this case, I don't think anyone even particularly tried to hide it. But what are you going to do? This is the thing. There are bad people out there. There was a good story in the Sandman series comic that I was very into in the 90s that is apparently finally getting turned into a TV series that probably won't go to air for another 2 years, but I will be looking forward to that because Neil Gaiman's involved. But yes, the 90s comic Sandman, I was really into it. And there was one where these serial killers were having a convention. They covered it to make it look innocent. But it was, serial killers having a get together, in a Holiday Inn, just like, traveling salespeople. And it turns out it's being run, and most of them don't realize it. They're being driven by a character called the Corinthian, who's like a guest of honor at this thing, and he is actually a physical manifestation of a nightmare that escaped from the dream realm, which is the central thing of the Sandman comics. The central character is the Sandman, dream. Morpheus creates dreams, and what was supposed to be when he was imprisoned by a magician for a while, and his realm broke down a bit while he was away, and among other things that happened, a nightmare, the Corinthian, escaped. And when Dream finally stops him, like, the Corinthian thinks he's really strong, and Dream's like, dude, I made you go away. And what he says is, you were supposed to be the ultimate nightmare, the ultimate fear of humans, and you've wasted yourself here, turning these people into killers. What's anyone going to learn from that? There are bad people in the world. They already knew that. This is pathetic. So he unmakes the Corinthian because he's disappointed at how pathetic his efforts are. Josh, you're a Sandman fan. Yes, top tier. In the 80s and early 90s, the only comic I was reading was the British sci-fi 2000 AD, Home of Judge Dredd. And that's fun. It's a lot of the stories don't have a lot of depth in it, but there's some good stuff in it and some very good art in it as well. And Neil Gaiman actually wrote a few one-offs for 2000 AD. But yeah, a friend of mine saw those reading 2000 AD. He goes, "Oh, if you want a good comic, get The Sandman." And I was like, "Okay, yeah." And I remembered it. And so yeah, this guy Neil Gaiman, great writer. Da 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 da. Okay, and then one day I was in a bookshop, and in their sale bin, there was a comic called Miracle Man, which was written by Neil Gaiman, and I thought, oh, this is that Sandman guy. He's supposed to be good. And it was really cheap. It was actually only a couple dollars. And these trade paperbacks are usually $20 or $30 or $40. And this was only a couple of dollars. And so I bought it and read it and had my fucking mind blown. I was going, oh, that's how good writing for comics can be. So then I immediately got into The Sandman. And yeah, very top tier. Very good stuff. Raiders, you were introduced to the coroner's court in your late teens, been fascinated ever since. So I just remember a story growing up in a country town. Country town coppers and ambulance people tend to see less violence and less traumatic accidents and events than coppers and ambulance people in the cities. But the events they do see tend to be more extreme, particularly road accidents. The majority of road accidents in urban areas happen at lower speeds. The majority of fatal accidents in country areas happen at very high speeds, which fuck shit up. So the cops and ambos see less violence and traumatic events, but see more extreme violence and traumatic events. Anyway, that's as a preamble. Got a mate from school, was on a footy team. His dad was a copper, fairly senior copper, and apparently had some of the forensic photo books at home. And they told me the story one day. There was a few of the football lads, football lads, we're tough lads, we're big tough lads. And I don't know, the dad wanted to take the piss out of them and said like, you think you're big tough lads. You want to check this out. And he brings out basically this photo album of forensic photos, and it's from like car accidents. One guy in a hotel who put a shotgun in his mouth. So just really extreme shit. And he's just showing it to these 16, 17-year-olds who think they're tough. And of the group, apparently, I think one of them fainted. One of them threw up, and another one's just like, is it getting hot in here? I feel like it's getting hot in here. I need to go and sit down. So that was a bloody twisted dad, quite honestly. Hellion, hello, Kirsten. Great as a country town is why you finished up the coroner's court. Mate died in North Victoria, single-person car crash. Couldn't get answers, went digging by yourself at 19. See, that's the thing. You got introduced to the system, and you maintain the fascination. I will absolutely admit to understanding a fascination with all those types of things. But I mean, I had some sicko mates at our college. Because I am old. This is pre-internet. So when they wanted to see weird fucked up shit, they would like go to the State Library in Sydney, in the medical section, and find the forensic medicine books, and then they would have photos of just all these horrific injuries and illnesses, disfiguring illnesses and whatnot. And they would just spend all their time trying to find the most fucked up shit they could. You used to have to work for it in the old days. You couldn't just get on your computer and type in, show me some fucked up shit. God, I wonder what would... Oh, dare I type that into Google and see what comes up? Yeah, you used to have to go to a library and research your weird and fucked up shit. Also, you know, when we talk about viral videos and such like now, and things spread very easily with the internet, but also explaining to people pre-internet, shit would still spread. Versions of the same thing would be all around the world. Obviously, things would take longer to spread. But for instance, I was at a house party in the 90s, possibly in an altered state, definitely nothing illegal. Okay. So at this house party, and they were playing this video that was called Emergency Broadcast Network. And it was all this weird, fucked up video that's edited in a really trippy way, with sort of dance music and whatnot. You can find it on YouTube, unless it got taken down for copyright or something. I might actually check. Emergency Broadcast Network. Does that bring it up? Yep. Emergency Broadcast Network brings up some really, really weird thing. Commercial entertainment product. And probably my two favorites were George Bush Sr. making a speech, and they've cut it up. So he's doing, we will rock you. And then just got the boom, 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 boom. And that's kind of funny. But there's another one that has Harrison Ford from Patriot Games, I think, running, going, get down, get down. Because, of course, they're playing this really banging dance music. And he just keeps going, get down, get down. And there's this absolutely horrific loop of Mariah Carey just shrieking and that hitting that really high note she could hit, and it's just looped, so it's like shreds your fucking skull, basically. But anyway, I saw this on a VHS tape in a house party in Sydney in the 90s. It was made by some dudes in America. I think they worked at a TV station and had access to editing equipment. So they were just getting all these different bits of news footage and popular entertainment, like movies and music videos and whatever, and just doing these mad edits and remixes of them. And somehow this thing that was made in the US and through no distribution system, you couldn't buy this. It was not a product you could buy. It had just been copied and copied and copied and handed around. And it showed up at this house party in Sydney in the 90s, which gave me an incredibly trippy experience this night. And yeah, now you can just see it on YouTube. You know, there's no such thing as nostalgia anymore because it's all there. You know, the most ridiculous, among the things I want to smack people down for on the internet are people who say, am I the only one who does this? Or am I the only one who remembers? Shut the fuck up. No, you're not. And most of the time, you know you're not. You're just sort of seeking validation. It's just like, of course you're not the only fucking one, you know? Jesus, you're not. Now I feel like I'm going to quote Fight Club. You are not a special individual snowflake. And hello, Nobody and Abigail. Yes, Annette, that was really trippy. That was the real viral stuff that was just shared around, and like you'd have to physically move around VHS tapes. There was no downloading. Someone had to bring a VHS tape back from the United States and then, you know, copy it locally and share it around. Yes, Abigail, I think you are the only one who seeks validation from people by saying, am I the only one? And hi, Toby. It's, yeah, but even, you know, like slang would spread around the world and jokes would spread around the world. The slang would often change and some would be purely local, but certain in-jokes and whatnot, I've heard variants of the same joke from all over. And this is, again, I'm talking pre-internet. So it's weird. I don't know. humans compulsively share. One of our traits, are always wanting to share and seek validation from the tribe. Yes, I think that's a big thing. Another thing, I'm consistently impressed by the Vlog brothers, Hank and John Green, their ability to articulate things really well. Not necessarily develop new insights or but just being very good at articulation. And when it's someone else's idea, they'll specifically say, such and such posited this, and they explain it really well. And there was a recent one, Hank Green, talking about influencers, and he kind of hates the word, prefers to be a content creator, but he did a very interesting sort of threading together of things, including the people who invaded the DC Capitol building while live streaming, which is like wild. Yes, Abigail, my tie is quite logical. And it says live long and prosper down there. So, yes. Josh, I would agree slang did used to be heaps more local. But there's another thing. I remember as a kid, not so much slang, but sort of jokes and whatnot. Someone interstate would be telling basically the same joke, but there'd be a different element to it. And I think it often happened, someone, particularly when you're in the country, someone would go on holidays somewhere, which was a ways away, and they'd pick up something from someone local there, and they'd bring it back to school, and then it would be the new thing you'd say at school. But it sort of went through a translation process, and so you ended up saying it differently to people in another area. Essentially the same thing, but different. Same, but different. Who said that, by the way? Let's see what happens when I put that in. Same, but different. Thai English phrase, same, but different, means similar. While its precise origins are largely unknown, it's likely that this construction originally appeared when Thais were learning English, tried to converse with visitors. Okay, so, and because so many Australians travel to Thailand for tourism, that would make sense that I've always heard same, but different. I like it. Okay. Same, but different. And I think that was down to like people like buying souvenirs. Someone saying, "Oh, I wanted to buy a thing." Oh, this is it. Same, but different. You know, buy it, you rich bastard. So, yes. Weird things that pop into my head. You know what? I'm against my better judgment. I'm going to type, show me some fucked up shit. But there's a Pinterest page called Crazy Fucked Up Shit. And another Pinterest page called Shit That's So Fucked Up It Needs Its Own Category. Okay, I think I found what I want. It's a Reddit, Ask Reddit. Okay, the initial Google image search is kind of innocent, honestly. The rest of the results might not be what you're looking for. See more anyway. But an Ask Reddit thread The most. Oh no. Web surfers are. No, that's a video. I don't want that. I thought it was actually on Reddit. Here it is. What's the most fucked up thing you found on the internet? From 2018. Oh no, they're just putting websites on there. Oh yeah, we were talking about true crime before. Someone said the serial killer, David Parker Ray, made these tapes that he showed his victims when he first captured them. I found the transcripts of those tapes. That's just text. I found the reality of the tapes and the casual nature so terrifying. Oh yeah, I saw a thing on what the fuck with woman in a car crash. Right, yep, cool. Yep, okay, no, that's actually stuff I don't want to read. Abigail, remember when heaps of people, mainly goths, wore the same t-shirt? You laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh, yes. You laugh at me because I'm different. I laugh at you because you're the same, and we wore it unironically. Yes. Yes, and it was funny because heaps of people wore it. It's a fine line between unique and stupidly ironic. It's kind of like the right wingers thinking they had the ultimate own on the left with the NPC meme. And for those who don't game, non-player characters in video games tend to have a really limited range of responses and repeat them all the time. So the joke was, oh, the left don't think. They just say the same thing over and over. They're like NPCs. And so they did these little NPC memes. And to me, what was hilarious is they all latched on to this and all started doing it at the same time. Like they are all at the same time saying the same thing and going, you're stupid because you always say the same thing. And because they're not bright enough to see how funny that is, I found it doubly funny. Locust Trooper, hello. Basically, there used to be a time lapse. I think Abigail, like you're pointing out that T-shirt. There was a period where, you know, that was a really sincere and edgy thing, but that can only last for a limited amount of time before it becomes stupid and cliche. Thanks to the internet, that happens at warp speed. Like usually you've got, if you're really lucky, a couple of days of some expression of individuality, having any real individuality before it collapses into a fucking cliche. Just the speed at which things move at the moment. Toby, how is AD? I don't know. I haven't heard from him since Saturday. I was just thinking earlier, if I don't hear from him tonight, I should probably text him tomorrow and find out what the hell is happening. Because he seemed in good spirits on Saturday. But then I haven't heard from him since, so who knows? Yes, Abigail, 0-day memes. I think that sums it up. But it's just, yeah, the rate was different. Like I remember someone doing this. It was a meme, I guess. It was a visual representation of memes, and it was like, and it was, they used diamond mining as an example, and it's like the really dirty miners who were down in the pits getting filthy. That was from the then quite obscure boards like 4chan, and then like the next stage of diamond mining is people sorting, you know, rocks from promising diamonds, and that was some of the sharing sites like Reddit or Imgur, and then there was one more stage of refining, and they were saying that was, a next level thing. And then finally, a single diamond being sold in a jeweler's store, and like that was Facebook, which was actually a pretty good visual metaphor. I think I explained it really badly there, but I quite liked that as a visual metaphor. Like the channers and whatnot would spit out hundreds of memes, 99% of which was shit, but there's one that would catch on, and then that would reach the next level sites like Reddit and Imgur, but 9 out of 10 of those were too weird for the mainstream, and it was only like 1% of 1% of the things that came out of 4chan would make it to Facebook. Was the ecology of memes, I guess. I don't know. Toby, yes. Celtic King's got a bit of an obsession with saying AIDS is a sexy man, or everyone is. But there's a story that I wanted AZ to tell as well about someone apparently finding him to be a sexy man. I keep giving teasers to it, but I want AZ to tell the story. So I will try tomorrow to find out what he is up to and take it from there. I feel like, okay, I want to kill that Reddit page of fucked up shit, because I went through my phase of doing that with friends, just trying to find the most fucked up shit and outdo each other with stuff we'd send back and forth. And you just get to a level where nobody wins, because it's like, oh, no, I actually did find something worse. Oh, goddamn, that is actually awful. Oh, you found something worse than that. Fuck me, that is awful. Lemonhead, your ears are ringing when you say you're confused out loud. Okay. My ears are ringing all the time. I have really fucking bad tinnitus. Or I feel like that's a reference that I'm missing as well. But I'm sure you can help me out with that. The time, I think... no, Toby, AIDS never found his accidental porno. He was birthing... What? Locust Trooper is the thing AIDS have on his penis called balanitis. No, he didn't have anything on his penis. He had flesh-eating bacteria, basically, necrotizing fasciitis, and attacked his scrotum. That's called Fournier's gangrene. So it wasn't actually his penis. It was his thighs and his scrotum. People who want that sort of detail. Lemonhead, you'll be fine. Okay. Yes, your second spelling was a bit more correct. It's named after Megaleech. It's named after someone called Fournier. Is anyone in the mood to do Angry Bunch tonight? I guess. So if you are, that sounds like a thing to do. Yeah, Locust Trooper. Also, standard warning is don't do an image search on Fournier's gangrene, because there are a fuck ton of photos of it, and it is horrifying. It is absolutely horrifying. I mean, necrotizing fasciitis generally is absolutely fucking horrifying. Oh, Toby, you did it and regretted it. Yeah. It's basically one way of getting these necrotizing infections. A reasonably common way is being bitten by an insect or an arachnid, and the bite site gets infected. And apparently it's like super fucking bad luck if it happens to you. Like the bacteria, like the flesh-eating bacteria, is really opportunistic. And if you just have the misfortune of having, like broken skin, like from a bite, and the critter that bit you maybe is carrying the bacteria, and it gets into the wound, and then it just fucking goes to town. And there's a few versions of it. There are some, like apparently for years was linked to whitetail spiders, that more recent research has said that's bullshit. It was just like kind of coincidence. Someone thought they'd been bitten by a spider or had been bitten by the spider, and it often happens in the garden, and it's usually actually the infection comes from the garden, not from the bite. But for years, people thought, and GPs were telling people this, that the source of this necrotizing wound was a whitetail spider. And there was a belief it was whitetail spider venom that was doing it. And to the best of my knowledge, that's been disproven. The spider bite is coincidental to the infection. So, oh God, Abigail, you still love those types of images. You've Googled necrotizing fasciitis and Fournier's gangrene. Went down an hour-long rabbit hole. Well, there is a fuck ton of material on it, because it's the type of thing that fascinates medical people, because it's such an extreme condition. As AIDSy overheard one of the medical staff say, and they were not supposed to say it loud enough for him to hear it, but everyone, when AIDSy had the Fournier's gangrene, everyone was coming to see him and inspect him, because as this one intern said too loud, it's so rare to see it in a living patient. Like, because it's got, what AIDSy had is like a 97% fatality rate. So they usually only see it post-mortem. And that's why everyone, from nurses to interns to senior surgeons and professors, were coming to check him out, because it was so rare to see it. Josh, you'd heard it was to do with whitetail spiders eating venomous spiders, and it was the interaction of multiple venoms. That is not true. More recent studies have shown that the necrotizing wounds were actually nothing to do with the spider's venom. It was just an opportunistic infection that got into the bite site. For instance, AIDSy got it from an ant. He got bit on the scrotum by an ant, and he scratched it and went, ow. And when he scratched, he broke the skin and got an infection from the bite. Pat TV, is that Big Pat on Twitch? I'll lift you about eczema. Yeah, eczema is really fucking annoying. Shouldn't really ask me medical questions. I don't know a goddamn thing. I think it's not quite dark enough to shoot a video yet. I can still see a bit of light. Might have a drink. Henry, you always thought it was white tip. Well, everyone thought it was the whitetail or the white tip spider, and some I don't know what's the name of the specialist who studies spiders? Entomologist. That's an entomologist, I think, wanted to save the reputation of the whitetail spider, and they believe they conclusively showed the various infections people got were not directly related to spider. Pat TV, you are from Germany. Okay, I thought you may have been a friend of mine. Well, we're trying to be interesting, Pat. In fact, Abigail, you've just done the necrotizing fasciitis search again. Well, I don't know. Does anyone want to make it more interesting for Pat TV and join me on the stream. I am going to get glass because I have yet another clarified cocktail to try. I haven't tried this one yet. It's like absinthe and some other stuff. I get a glass. And get a fresh piece of ice because I'm sophisticated. I'm a sophisticated motherfucker. Get a glass. Get a big block of ice. Where do I keep my big block of ice? There we go. I have to refill this ice cube tray when I'm done. Pa-pam. Okay. Henry, how bad is what for AIDS? Yeah, Abigail, I just wanted to know if anyone wanted to join. Because there's no point me posting the link if nobody wanted to join. I've been admonished. Henry, I'm not sure what you're asking how bad it is for AIDS. AIDS has a whole bunch of chronic health conditions that make his daily life really shitty. A little bit of ASMR from the cork. Sure, this. Oh wow, that smells like licorice, aka absinthe. Oh, dramatic crack in my big bit of ice. Man, that smells really licorice. Yes, Megaleech, not all of AIDS's problems are self-inflicted, just some of them. A lot of them completely out of his control. Kobe, here, mate. Now, Pat TV, you don't have a camera on, but you want to say hello. Is that what's going on?
Hello.
How are you? And Abigail, hello.
Hello, hello.
What part of Germany are you in, Pat?
Saxony.
Saxony, okay. I thought you were saying something about it being sexy at first, but no, you said Saxony.
No.
I got it. I'm a bit slow on the uptake sometimes, but you know, that's okay. So, cheers. I haven't actually tasted this properly yet. This is my first proper taste of it. Ooh, that's a bloody taste combo, that one. It mostly tastes like absinthe, actually, which is not surprising because it's got absinthe in it. Also has, hey, Pat, it also has brandy and rum in it. So I got a bit creative with this. So you just stumbled across this on the Twitch, Pat? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, welcome. Like I mainly broadcast to YouTube, but just for laughs, I sort of rebroadcast to Twitch and Facebook as well. So Megaleech, were you?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, go Abigail. What?
Oh, I'm just like looking at these necrotizing fasciitis images, and
Okay.
it's just fascinating. Some of them are like post-operative or during the operation, and you can see all kinds of like muscles and tendons and stuff. And it's one of a baby where it's like under the knee, it's just like bone and muscle, and then there's a perfect foot underneath it, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
Like that, yeah.
Human bodies, eh? What the fuck?
I know, and like, I think it's more gross when you see it on people's faces, because then you can like see all kinds of exposed jaws and stuff. But
that's like I remember seeing the photos of the patients with tertiary syphilis before there was a treatment for it, and it would destroy soft tissue, so like noses would fall in, and then it would just spread, and it's like, fuck. And so doctors dutifully took photos of all this and put it in medical texts.
Of course, yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna have to Google for.
Well, you're gonna Google tertiary syphilis.
Oh, yeah, I should actually. I just Googled Fournier's gangrene, and there's a band. Of course, there's a metal band that you can't like read the name.
Oh yeah.
There's not many. No, there's not many. Okay, so what was it?
Tertiary syphilis, basically. It's, a lot of the photos will be from the early 20th century.
Oh wow!
I know, right?
Look at that, yeah. Holy
cow! Yeah, people just end up with holes in their faces. And,
yeah. There's a few photos like that.
Yeah, because it destroyed the soft tissue. It destroyed the nose and the soft palate, and then just gradually spread. And of course, it tended to get infections into the brain as well. So notoriously, people with tertiary syphilis would go mad. It's like, because their brain's literally being consumed.
Yes.
God, this is you never know what fucked up shit we're gonna, or just, I suppose this is in keeping with nerdy shit. We always talk nerdy shit. Now we're talking nerdy medical shit. I'm very fond of what is it, trypophobia or typophobia memes? Oh, the holes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and when people like superimpose.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Nettie. Yeah. Superimpose pictures of holes on people.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Endlessly fascinated by that.
There was one in particular. There's a particular sort of seed pod that ends up with all these holes in it, and that's the one they photoshopped onto people to freak people out. Yeah,
that's the lotus blossom.
Yes, lotus blossom. Yes, and that was one of the first ones I saw where people were just photoshopping it onto bodies to freak people out. They go, "Oh, there's a carnivorous worm that gets into your body and eats all these." Fucking with people's heads. Oh dear. Ooh, what are you
Singapore Sling.
Singapore Sling. Nice.
A double.
This is just a random concoction from I made a yellow bird, except it was a green bird in my case. As you can see, it's quite green. It's like 1 ounce absinthe, 1 ounce Okar Gold, and 1 ounce apricot liqueur. And you have to stir it for like more than a minute to tame down the absinthe a bit. But it's still really strong, and that's gone on my cocktail channel tonight. And then I had made
really yummy.
It basically is.
Cool.
I made a second one so I could do slow motion close-ups of the colored stuff going into the glass and sloshing around, because that's a YouTube aesthetic. And but then I'm left with, because I usually, because I made this drink on Friday night's live stream, and it was pretty good. And when I made it a second time during the day, I didn't really want to drink it in the middle of the day, so I milk that's why I've got like all these milk clarified cocktails, because I make I make them a second time for close-ups, and then I don't want to drink the cocktails in the middle of the day, so I milk clarify them and save them for the live streams. And
cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yum.
I find it funny.
Sorry,
I find it funny when you do a web search for certain phobias, and the web pages always have an image of what that phobia is. I find that like hilarious. Like you look up an anatodaphobia, which is the fear that somewhere a duck is looking at you, and there's always a picture of a duck. Always. It's just hilarious.
That was invented by Gary Larson, who does The Far Side, and it got taken up by medical people.
Yes,
because it was an appropriate route.
Yes, there's quite a few medical terms that Gary Larson coined, including the tail spikes of what was a Stegosaurus?
Something like
he
that.
named it like the thumper, like the
Thagomizer, named after the late Thag Simmons. And the obvious
and
joke was Thag Simmons got beaten to death with that.
Yes.
And they officially called it that.
Yes. That's it, the Thagomizer. Yeah.
All the paleontologists thought that's the best paleontology joke I've ever seen. Let's actually call it a Thagomizer.
Yeah.
They're glossing over the fact there is a gap of many millions of years between a Stegosaurus and hominids. Yeah. But it was good fun. Oh, yeah, Ashoka. Michelangelo, famed Renaissance dude, would sneak into morgues for anatomy thing. And in fact, there were rumors he would steal bodies and cut them up in his studio so he could see the muscle structure and whatnot, because he was absolutely obsessed with the human body. Like gay as a Boy Scout jamboree, that type of fixated on male anatomy. But rumor was he didn't just go to morgues, which was illegal. He would buy or steal bodies and take them back to his studio and dissect them so he could study the musculature.
Well, he's responsible for because medieval medical texts look like they were drawn by preschoolers, and so the Renaissance and Michelangelo in particular were responsible for like highly detailed medical journals having like proper illustrations. And it became a thing after that.
There was a really funny I think it was originally on Tumblr, just like a meme thing of essentially like those really bad medieval illustrations that look stupid as hell.
Yes.
And there's a conversation between two people who are illustrating the book. And I'm going to see if I can find it.
I particularly like when people say, which medieval cat are you today? And they'll just have like a bunch of medieval cat pictures, and because that's a big mood right there.
Yeah. But this one, the person imagines a whole conversation between these two people justifying why the picture's so bad.
Okay.
I can't find it. It's like highbrow stuff about dialogues and no, I can't. But it was just like, frogs, they carry knives, don't they? Yes. But only the ones that ride horses. And then you see an actual medieval picture of a frog with a knife on the back of a horse. And it was like...
snail riding was a big thing.
Yes.
Snail riding.
Yep, they had a real thing with snails. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those monks got so bored.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon.
Yeah. They were experimenting with herbs is what they were doing, in my opinion. You get all these modern herbal liqueurs and stuff that they said, ooh, from a secret monk's recipe from the 1500s. They go, yeah, those monks were just in these isolated monasteries getting well off their tits going, hey, have you worked out what this herb does yet? Put it with this one and see if it's any better. It's just like... They just get off their tits. But Raiders, yes, Da Vinci was another good anatomy guy. Really advanced the whole accurate representation of what anatomy was. But it's medieval art. Oh, have you seen? There's a picture of a real cat that looks like one of those stupid medieval pictures of cats. Like it's got this really human-looking face. And I saw this picture posted. I saw this picture posted, and it was like, we all owe an apology to those medieval artists.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that for a while, but yeah.
I gotta find this. I gotta find this picture.
Have you
'Cause I
have you
haven't seen it.
classical art memes? I think they might have changed their name recently.
Yeah.
Oh, they started off with medieval, and then they had to expand. Then they had to expand some more. So they became classical, and then they became something else. But I love that stuff. I really loved it.
Yeah, no, they do some good stuff. I'm trying to find this post that's a whole dialogue. Ask historians, why are medieval paintings so crappy? The reason medieval paintings of cats were so bad. Ooh, here's one. Why you're wrong about medieval art. Why babies in medieval paintings look like ugly old men. But
that's actually a good.
Why do so many people being murdered with axes in their heads and a great big sword right through them have a smile on their face? And I'm like, this happens.
There's somewhere there literally going, So I found one. This is not what I was looking for, but it looks good. Someone giving a rundown. 10 weird trends that keep showing up in medieval art. There's murderous rabbits. Yes, I've seen a lot of them.
Yes.
Cats licking their butts. Women riding Aristotle like a pony. Nice.
Okay.
I didn't know that one. Oh, yes. Knights fighting snails. We were talking about the whole snail thing earlier. Moses with horns on his head. They didn't want him to look bad. They actually thought he had horns.
Wow.
There you go. There's a particular translation of from the Hebrew where the word kind of sounds like it might mean ray of light or horn. There you go. Mary Magdalene covered in body hair. Yep, okay, that's pretty weird. And not like a hairy body, just long cascading hair that starts at the head and doesn't stop. This is what we were talking about. Bored people dying. People being stabbed in the head, just sitting there going,
time to die.
People flying spaceships. Yes, that's Eric von Daniken was obsessed that some of these pictures were spaceships. Demons with faces on their crotches. Yes, nice.
I remember those ones. Yep.
Yes. Oh, and the classic things sticking out of people's butts. People playing a trumpet with their butt. That shows up a lot.
That might be illustrating a fart there.
Oh, yeah, that's basically a fart joke. I think that's just a fart joke. Playing a trumpet with your butt.
The butt trumpet.
The butt trumpet. I'm really frustrated that I can't find this thing that I consider to be really funny. Meme. Maybe if I say memes. Is this it? Oh, no, they're just memes, which are pretty good, actually. Sorry. I won't bother reading the memes out because that's silly. But yes, if you want to amuse yourself, personally, I'm with Nettie. I find these incredibly amusing. Search up medieval art memes. I think they're hilarious when people have just captioned medieval paintings.
It's so worth it.
Yeah, they're some pretty wild stuff.
Wow. How's this live stream? We're all just looking at
We're
web browsers.
We're all looking at stuff. I'm going to make a cocktail, and you two can keep looking at memes. Now you're fixated on memes.
I'm sorry. It's just that I can't find my favorite filter for my picture of my Singapore sling.
Kirsten needs 9 more followers on Instagram to get to 1,000. So you're got to go to follow GinCartAU on Instagram for Kirsten's fabulous content.
Okay.
I think I have an Instagram account.
Yeah. Megaleech, I think you're right, unconsciously, because today is Holocaust Remembrance Day, the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. And I think it's good that we distract ourselves from the horrors of the past with other horrible
horrors of the present. So what was Kirsten's Instagram handle?
GinCartAU. So,
all one word?
Yes. I don't think there's any underscores.
No results found.
GinCartAU.
Oh, I get to crack the seal on my new bottle.
Yeah, I can't find Gin.
ASMR.
So it's GinCart. GinCartAU.
GinCartAU. Oh, it's the GinCart. There you go. Sorry, it's the GinCart.
That's why I couldn't find it.
I've led everyone astray. So I'm going to make a vegan Brandy Alexander. So I get to crack the seal on my new bottle of brandy. Not your Nana's brandy. I'm going to look up the recipe for a Brandy Alexander. Brandy Alexander cocktail. Liquor.com. Who else is there? Punch drink.
GinCartAU.
And the GinCartAU. Okay, so liquor.com says 1.5 ounces cognac, 1 ounce dark creme to cacao, 1 ounce cream. Okay. What does Punch drink say? 1 ounce of brandy, 1 ounce of creme de cacao, 1 ounce of cream. Oh, I like the idea of a bit more brandy, honestly. Yeah, 1.5 ounces. Ooh, I like the Diffords. They mix the dark and white creme de cacao. All right. Right. I gotta get the crèmes de cacao. Crème de cacao.
You're welcome, Kirsten. There are certainly a lot of pictures of gin on your Instagram profile.
As promised with the gin cart.
You did not disappoint.
I'm giving you lots of likes on your Instagram. Ooh, what's that?
Okay. That's Disaronno velvet liqueur. So it's like a smooth cream with the unmistakable taste of Disaronno, but it's vegan. So to set myself apart, instead of using cream, I'm going to use this, which will make it a vegan Brandy Alexander.
Cool.
Yeah,
so what, Kirsten? What happens when you get to 1,000 followers? Do you
Not sure anything happens. It's just psychological.
Okay.
But Kirsten might correct me. There might be something about anyone. Oh, Jesus. Knocking stuff over. All right, got my shaker ready. The only question is, what sort of glass will I do it in? Coop or Nick and Nora? Which one would look the prettiest? I think it might look best in the Nick and Nora, actually. It's a nice glass. I will chill that. There we go. Put that in there. All right. Right. All right, you two are being so quiet. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, don't apologize. I'll leave my microphone on while I make the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of working at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So my speaker will be off, so I won't hear you, but I'm gonna leave the microphone on so you don't feel under any pressure. And you can just mock me if you like. So and I'll never know. Do you feel? Does that sound like I'm setting you up? I don't know. It's like
it sounds like you're setting yourself up.
It does, doesn't it? All right. Put my light on. Check my camera. Make sure it's all hunky dory. Yeah, I think that's right. All right. Fuck it. That's fine. Gotta turn my audio recorder on. Right. Now I'm switching my speaker off. So I can't hear you anymore. Right. That's ready. This is ready. No, that's not quite right. It's going to be a bit lower. All right, try that. Yeah, I think that's better. You know, fixated on tiny little things. That's what she said.
He can't hear us.
Okay.
He can't. Yeah, he officially can't hear us now.
Yep.
Hello, cocktail lovers.
G'day, cocktail lovers. I hope you've been keeping well. Hope nothing's too terrible happening. Like, we're just living in just the worst timeline. So every time I say I hope you're feeling well, I'm really worried that someone's no, because that's the way of things at the moment. But anyway, I'll just stick with my wishful thinking and move ahead with a cocktail. And if you are feeling a bit stressed, maybe this will help, because this cocktail is a comfort drink for a lot of people. I'm going to make a Brandy Alexander, because it is Brandy Alexander Day this weekend. It's the last day of January, has been declared for who knows what reason.
But I guess I'm about to find out. I don't know what a Brandy Alexander is.
Let's get into it. And also,
I'm about to find out.
Brandy, chocolate,
this is going to be
and
vegan Brandy Alexander. Normally, a Brandy Alexander is made with cream.
Sounds nice.
And I bought this recently. Disaronno brought out this velvet liqueur. It's like a creamy version of their famous Disaronno liqueur, but this is actually vegan. So, and that's slightly surprising, because most cream liqueurs actually do have some dairy in it. But this one, they say, is definitely vegan. So, little treat for the vegan folks who maybe think they miss out on all these luscious cream liqueurs. I think that is fairly widely available around the world. I saw it advertised for a while before I could actually physically find a bottle, but I found it locally. I think that brand is fairly widely available around the world. Not 100% sure on that, because one thing of getting involved in YouTube cocktail community revealed to me how weird the licensing laws around the world are. I thought ours were strange, but some parts of particularly North America, actually, some areas have really weird licensing laws that I just do not understand. But look, if you wanted to make a vegan Brandy Alexander, happily you get this or another vegan product. But I'm going to give it a go now with a vegan Brandy Alexander.
I'm very tempted to clean up my desktop.
First up, unsurprisingly, brandy. Now, a lot of recipes will specify.
Why? Because you can see it behind you.
Cognac is just brandy.
No, my
region of
computer
France.
desktop.
In front of you.
I've got like
it is not by
10,000
better just because it's French.
icons.
So not saying it's worse. I actually have some cognac and some Armagnac, but this is local, as in Australian-made brandy from the 23rd Street Distillery. And I freely admit I got this one partly to support local and partly because they call
to
it
buy flour and she wants orange now.
Oh no!
Using it for the first time because I went through the previous one because it's good. But yes, there's some slight variation
Singapore skins are good.
Recipes I saw. I'm going for the one that's extra brandy. So I'm going to do 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of brandy.
He's putting in extra brandy. Yeah, that sounds like him.
Another important ingredient is the chocolate liqueur, creme de cacao. You could probably use a range of chocolate liqueurs. I'm actually following the Difford's Guide recipe. So they actually split it between white and dark creme de cacao. So I'm going to do 1/3 of an ounce or 10 mils of white creme de cacao. And 20 mils or 2/3 of an ounce of brown or dark creme de cacao. And again, a lot of recipes just said use brown creme de cacao. And there are a lot of chocolate liqueurs out there that aren't creme de cacao. Worth experimenting, in my humble opinion. Don't let yourself get too tied down. But I'm now going to add 20 mils of brown creme de cacao.
Oh no!
The final touch is the cream element.
Sorry to hear you're lonely.
It's just 1 ounce or 30 mils of cream.
I'm going Kirsten just posted a comment.
So this is a cream liqueur with that almond flavour that Disaronno Amaretto has. So it's going to be a little bit different. Hey, like I said, I love to experiment.
Why don't you come onto the live stream, Kirsten?
So I'm going to put 30 mils or 1 ounce of our cream liqueur in.
Come to the live stream, Kirsten. You won't feel so lonely.
Okay. How to drop in ice without physics making me its bitch and splashing back at me. I think I managed it. Reusing ice.
Is that going to be part of the edit?
Little ice in as well.
No, he'll edit this out. Yes, Kirsten can't come in until Angry lets her.
Oh, of course. That makes sense. Oh, someone's talking to me. What?
What?
I've added ice to the shaker, and because there's a cream element, I want to shake this really hard. Don't necessarily have to shake it for a long time, but give it a good solid shake for at least 10 or 15 seconds. Bang it in hard and shake away.
That just reminded me of Craig Ferguson doing, let's do the fork in the garbage disposal. Ding, 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 ding.
Nick and Nora.
I now started something.
I'm going to strain this into a coupe glass. There's no hard and fast rules with a glassware with a Brandy Alexander. I've seen people put it in a rocks glass with a big chunk of ice. You could use a coupe, Nick and Nora, martini glass, whatever you're in the mood for. I was going to use my Nick and Nora, but I think volume-wise, it might have gone a bit high. There it is, a very creamy and chocolatey looking beverage, but what does it taste like? Ooh, you're getting the chocolate notes of the aroma and very much off the taste. The Disaronno liqueur, this is, look, it's definitely not as
how good does that sound?
As it would be if you used actual cream in here, but it's very good. It's got a very sort of silky smooth feel. There is the little bit of that amaretto flavor in there, but it's not overpowering. It's just under the chocolate notes. The brandy has pretty much just blended in. The chocolates come to the fore, in my opinion. But this is, I think this would be an end of the evening drink for me. Very much dessert in a glass. Oh, and why not? There's a reason Brandy Alexanders have been popular for over 100 years. It's really good. And of course, even with such a simple recipe, there is room for a bit of experimentation because different brandies, cognacs, are going to bring their own character to it. And depending on what chocolate liqueur you choose, what type of creme de cacao or other chocolate liqueur. And like I said, I've used a vegan cream liqueur to do it. Most people do it with cream, but there's a bunch of other cream liqueurs out there you could experiment with. Why not? You know, there are worse things in the world than experimenting with how many different ways you can make a nice creamy cocktail. Like, I don't want to drink creamy cocktails all the time, but sometimes they make for a good change. And like I said, there's a reason a Brandy Alexander has been popular for over 100 years. Why not give it a try? Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you are perhaps enjoying a Brandy Alexander of your own to mark Brandy Alexander Day. I hope to see you again soon. So, hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it'd be great if you did. Hit the little notification bell so you know when I upload the videos. Usually I upload at least 2 or 3.
Smash that like button.
And sometimes I tie them around days and events. And sometimes it's just a drink that's caught my eye.
That's how the millennials like to say it.
I'd love to have you back exploring with me.
But
in the meantime, take care. Look after yourself. Look after people around you. And maybe enjoy a Brandy Alexander.
Cheers. So no one else can use it.
That was sincere.
Did you hear that last comment?
Yeah, that was sincere. Yeah.
It is run back in the fridge, I think.
I may have to go because the person I'm collaborating with on the project I'm working on wants to do a video chat.
Camera.
Ah, well, Kirsten's coming on.
Okay, I'm heading off.
Okay, heading off. Thanks for dropping.
Yeah, I got to do a video call. So, bye. Bye. Prosper.
Nice. So, sorry, Kirsten, you're saying you want scones cleaned up your computer desk, bored and lonely. Were you talking about joining, Kirsten? If you were, that's the link.
About joining when you come back.
Okay, well, there's the link so you can join now. And I'm just going to finish off my experimental Brandy Alexander, which was a very successful experiment. So it's a slightly nutty Brandy Alexander.
Do you know what's good with it? Nutmeg.
What?
Nutmeg.
Ooh, that actually would be good. Yes. Yes, I'm not sure I have any.
I love my dessert cocktails.
Because, yes, I know. I know.
Hello.
It's probably some nutmeg.
I went to Coles earlier and I stood in front of the gluten flours and thought to myself, I should buy gluten flour so I can make scones. And then I didn't, which was a fail.
Well, you'll know for next time.
Okay, not as fancy as the cool kids who have like a fresh nutmeg in their little microplane and put it over the top. But I do have some ground nut.
Just a tiny bit on the top.
A little nutmeg on the top.
A little extra something.
Yeah.
And it'll probably go really well with that vegan creamy stuff that you put in
cream,
there. Because it's already nutty.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So
I've got a look. Speaking of stuff for garnishing, using the whole fruits, I've been making syrups with by incorporating sugar with fruit peel. What they call in the trade an oleosaccharum. You basically peel your fruit, your citrus, and cover it in sugar, and the sugar sucks all the oils out of the skin and goes goopy. And then normally what you do is add water. Then you've got this citrusy sugar syrup, which is really good for cocktails. Yeah. But I found this recipe, I think it was on liquor.com. It was a component of a drink. And it was, instead of adding water, you add the juice of the peel. So I made 1 orange mandarin and 1 lemon lime. So instead of adding water to the goopy syrup, you add the actual fruit juice and then milk clarify that. And you get this amazing clear syrup it's like a cordial. It's like, Kirsten disappeared. It's like a cordial and it has a really sherbety feel. So now I have this orange mandarin sherbety cordial and lemon lime one. So I've got to make some drinks. But also what Mrs. Angry does with the peel, she's Kirsten's internet's being funny. Okay. Because then you have this really sugary fruit peel after I finished making the syrup, and she's been chopping it up to put in desserts. Like she makes like a bread and butter pudding or a rice pudding and puts this little sweetened fruit peel in it, which is really nice. But she also did this other thing where she dries out the peel like in the oven, like, bakes it basically, and then crushes it up and puts it in a blender and powderizes it. So we've got these jars of like citrus zest powder. And so it's got the really sort of tangy and slightly bitter citrus peel taste, but because it's been soaked in sugar, it's sweet as well. So I want to come up with the right cocktail that I can use that as like a garnish on the top. So it's got to be something that's foamy. So something that's fruity and foamy, and I'll put some of this zest on the top of it because I think that would look good. A fluffy duck, that would work. That would work. I think basically anything with pineapple juice would work, because if you shake a drink with pineapple juice really hard, the pineapple juice foams. So maybe a fluffy duck's an excellent idea. Maybe a tiki one with pineapple juice.
Pina Colada?
Pina Colada. Yes. Pina Colada.
Yeah.
So
a super party, like extra party on top.
Yeah. So I'm gonna Pina Colada. I get told someone was telling me to do it, and I thought I think I sound like a wanker if I say Pina Colada, and the Spanish-speaking friends say, no, that's just how it's pronounced. You're not a wanker if you say Pina Colada. It's the proper way to say it. Oh, yeah, Kirsten, any sort of sour. That's true. Yes, using lemon or lime in a sour. You know what I was thinking of doing actually, Kirsten? a gimlet with the lemon lime syrup, because, you know, the oldie school gimlet was gin and lime cordial. This lemon lime stuff is a really nice, zesty cordial. So I'm thinking maybe a gimlet with my homemade cordial in it could be good as well. Okay. Pina Colada. Difford's recipe for a Pina Colada. What do they say? So it's like white rum, cachaça, pineapple juice. I have to make some cream of coconut, but that's okay because I like having cream of coconut on. Actually, that's friggin' perfect. That is friggin' perfect for that zest, I think. But yeah, a sour. Oh, geez, I'm going to really experiment with this stuff. But I think definitely a gimlet made with this cordial. And I'll explain how the cordial's made. I probably should have made a video of me making it, but you know, that horse is bolted. So, but yes, you get all these people who go to all this elaborate trouble, and I'm like, okay, well, have you gone to this much trouble? I peeled it and I covered it in sugar, and then I mixed that with juice, and then I milk clarified that, and then I dried out the peel and ground it up. So now it's this stuff that goes on top. Top that, motherfucker. You know.
Competitive.
I'm a little bit competitive. I was jealous of the cool kids who can do the thing like cracking the big ice cubes flawlessly and dropping it. And I go cracking, it's just bits of ice go flying everywhere but into the glass I want it to go in. Jesus. Yeah,
I've got a Kmart ice crusher. I don't know if I may have mentioned this.
That sounds good.
It's fun. It makes you drink so super cold very instantly.
Yeah. Well, this new fridge, the freezer, you know, most freezers now, they have the little built-in ice cube tray. This one has 3 trays in it and a fucking huge bin underneath so you can build up a lot of ice. But they're smaller than average, which is kind of really interesting for shaking cocktails because smaller bits of ice you sort of break up and really chill and dilute. It'd be good for making like really strong tiki drinks where they often say use crushed ice. I go, I don't necessarily need crushed ice. I'll use these bits that are small already and shake the shit out of it and it'll break up more and really chill the drink. But yeah, I love when you're talking about crushed ice. One of the more knowledgeable cocktail channels, I found he was doing a tiki one and he had like really finely crushed ice and was putting it in. He goes, and some people say, oh, you're just diluting the drink if you put all that crushed ice in. He says, but it actually dilutes less because it chills the drink really fast and actually the ice melts less. You think really finely crushed ice it's almost water, it's just going to melt. Okay, no, it actually chills the drink so fast. It melts slower than other ice.
And it forms a little snowball sometimes as well.
Yes. Ooh, I like this Brandy Alexander, actually.
I told you they're good.
Yeah. It did as an experiment. Like, I'd wanted this. Oh, man, I think I just fucked up. I actually fucked up. I'm going to have to do it again. The Disaronno is not vegan. It's a different thing I got. Oh, I was wondering why. Oh, that's okay. That just means I'm going to make another Brandy Alexander on tomorrow night's live stream. Yeah.
I know. So what's the difference? It's not vegan. What is it?
It's got cream in it. So it's got dairy in it. So it's not vegan.
Okay.
That was really weird. I was thinking of this one. Liquor 43 horchata. Dairy-free and vegan. A creamy fusion of Liquor 43, which is like a honey vanilla liqueur, and traditional horchata from Valencia. So it's Spanish. Ooh. But yeah, this is vegan.
Really yummy.
Yeah, well, see, this I'd seen advertised for ages and was never able to get it anywhere. And then I just wandered into Dan's one day and they had it. I'm like, oh, I got it. Because everyone had been talking about horchata, which is this traditional Spanish drink that's very popular in Spain and Mexico. And yeah, so I'd always been thinking, oh, why don't we have that here? And then we have that. So, lorks a lordy, I'm just going to have to make another Brandy Alexander tomorrow night. Because I can't be fucked making it now. I don't want to drink 2 Brandy Alexanders just before bed. Or do I?
Actually,
no.
they're pretty nice before bed.
Yeah, but I think one before bed rather than 2 before bed. If it was a Friday, I might do 2 before bed.
Yeah.
Work day tomorrow. If I hadn't had that absinthe drink earlier, maybe I'd do it a second. But that's probably enough drinks for a work night. Ugh. So, Kirsten, I'm trying to think of like when I make a gimlet, you agree that would be good if...
Yeah, comparison.
That would actually be fun if I did a comparison. I should actually admit I'm an idiot and just do that. You know what I did? That it was not the vegan liqueur, and I have no idea why I got confused, but I got confused. This is the vegan liqueur, so now I'm going to make a second one, and I could make it one video. That's actually a pretty good idea. Rather than rather than do the intro, just do like an extra minute and say, I'm an idiot. This was the actual vegan liqueur. And then I can give a comparison. So the actual cream liqueur was and then the vegan liqueur was Yeah, no, that actually makes sense. That is actually.
Oh, sorry, doggy. Oh,
that is a very good idea.
I just kicked the dog.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, such a tiny puppy. Oh, grr. She gurred at me.
So, Kirsten, I was just thinking, if I make a gimlet with my homemade lemon lime cordial, the initial thing that leapt into my mind was like one of the sort of citrusy gins I have, like either the finger lime applewood or the Teddy and the Fox, or should I just forget it and just go, no, just do the Navy strength gin. It's just like, just make one with Navy strength gin, something with a bit of kick. Yeah.
Have you done a Singapore sling on your
I have not. So I probably, but that's the thing. I want to keep making them forever. So I'm going to, and in fact, I've only, for next week, I've only kind of settled, I normally do 2 and I've kind of settled on 2 out of 3. Yeah, Kirsten says Navy strength. I knew Kirsten was going to say that. I just wanted someone to validate my feeling that I should make a gimlet with Navy strength gin. It's actually the Archie Rose Navy strength that I have at the moment, because I finished the Brogan's Way one. It lasted a long time, but the gap is now filled by the Archie Rose overproof gin, so I can do that. So next week, I know it's the fucking stove's doing its buzzing thing. It annoys the shit out of me. I've got to hit the button.
singing the song of its people.
Yes, it is singing the song of its people, annoying the crap out of me. It's Pisco Sour Day next weekend. So I'm going to do a Pisco Sour. The other one was kind of arbitrary. I was just flicking through, there's a bunch of websites I look at for ideas, and that's not shooting anything, so you're not going to get away. Sorry. Yes, because I'm in the kitchen. People come into the kitchen to do normal human things and wonder, what am I doing? Just because the other camera was there. The Angry's going, I'm not going to be on camera if I walk across there. Am I going, no, that one's switched off. But yeah, I found these riffs on a Sazerac, which is one of my favorite cocktails. And this one is with banana liqueur, and that just sounds really good. Banana rack. So I was thinking of, but
oh yeah, yum.
But now I know, maybe I'll do the gimlet. But yeah, this is why I love just, you know, because some weeks I look at the calendar and there are some really obvious theme things. Like I did, Monday was Burns night. So I did a Bobby Burns cocktail, you know, the cocktail named after Robert Burns. So did a bunch of other people. I think I found 5 other channels on YouTube that all did a Bobby Burns for Burns night. And I've never seen that before, because I feel like I'm the only one who's kind of really fixated with dates and whatnot and want to have a theme for my cocktails.
Yes, but sorry, I thought I heard beeping in my house.
No, that was
it in
my
your
house. Microwave in my house.
No, well, you know, Scots and their Scotch,
Yes.
and bartenders and their Scotch all come together for Burns night.
Yes. Yeah. And because there's a few different recipes for a Bobby, but it's obviously Scotch based. It's kind of like a Scotch Manhattan with the addition of a herbal liqueur. A lot of people use Benedictine, but one of the recipes I found is a guy saying, well, Drambuie is a Scotch-based herbal liqueur, so surely Drambuie. So I made it with Drambuie, and it was really yum. This is actually the milk clarified version of it. Scotch and sweet red vermouth, which is why it's very red, and Drambuie. But yeah, so
the other day, Bobby Burns night is the night before Australia Day.
Yes.
Which means you can be Scottish at night.
Yes.
And indulge, and then Australian the next day, and keep going.
Yeah, I actually took it fairly easy on Australia Day, but yes, I did have the Burns night one. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen so many people all do the same thing without coordinating it. Like I think I found 5 other cocktail channels on YouTube all making a Bobby Burns, and I was like, oh, you know, great minds think alike. What are you going to do? I think I was the only one who used Drambuie though, so set myself apart there.
How's the cocktail channel going in terms of subscriptions and whatnot?
Good. We're talking about landmarks. I'm edging up to 200 subscribers, which I hope. Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, and the last 2 or 3 months has been really picking up, like 50% increase in how much time people spend watching the videos, which is really good. And it's actually maintained that increase for about 3 months. So going 50% more than the previous month, then the next month 50% more again, then the next month 50. So that's pretty good. And the subscriptions have jumped up. If I can get to 200 before the end of February, I mean, sooner would be even better. But that would be like a reasonable landmark that I'd be happy with, because it's kind of funny whenever anyone, like, we have Facebook groups for YouTubers, when everyone says, oh, how do I get like subscribers and views and stuff? It's going, well, if you're not prepared to make consistent content for at least a year without seeing any real return on it, then it's not for you, you know, fuck off.
Yeah.
And at about the 8-9 month mark, I was getting a little bit, this is not going quite as well as I wanted it to. And then it picked up and I'm like, oh, now it is, you know. And so if I, you know, got a sort of growth phase happening, if I can maintain that, this year could be quite a good year. Like Kirsten and I keep saying.
I wonder why it is. I wonder if people want to see that you're making consistent content, and then decide that they've subscribed, or do they go through your back catalogue and then go, yeah, I want to know the next one?
Yep.
Is it summer?
No. The main thing is actually if you maintain a consistent upload pattern with YouTube, YouTube actually suggests your videos more often to people. Because I've hit the point, and that was the big change that happened about 3 months ago. 80% of the views I get are suggested to people by YouTube. Like, you can look at the statistics, and it says, where are the views coming from? And about 80% of my views are coming up because people are seeing my videos as recommended videos. So I've got enough content, and I seem to be using the right metadata and keywords, so people find me by searching and whatnot. It kind of feels like, I might have hit the critical mass point and might be able to take off. Like Kirsten and I regularly say, I just want it to be successful enough that people give me free booze. It's like they invite me to events and give me free booze. That's I don't really want to be like, YouTube famous and make a lot of money, because that would be really stressful. But just enough that various booze makers go, ooh, we should like send him some stuff to do a sponsored thing. And I'm going, yes, you should. You should send me booze, and then I will drink it. That's my aspiration. Just successful enough that people give me free booze. That'd be good.
That idea. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and getting invited to events would be good too. But it's really wild, because like I'd been sort of threatening to do it for ages, and then started doing it in like March last year. And at first it was really hard to find other cocktail channels. I found about half a dozen, a couple big ones, and it was very hard to find channels that weren't presented by white guys. And then I sort of finally found one channel, which was an Australian one, presented by a Scottish lass who works at a venue in Melbourne, and she's really good. She's one of the better known channels. But in the last year, so many people, and I think this is a lockdown thing, so many people started cocktail channels. Like I keep finding them, and I look at the channels. I found a new one, and I look. You've only been doing this for a couple months. You've been doing it for 6 months. You've been doing it. There's a couple channels who've been around for years, and I mean like a handful, like maybe half a dozen, somewhere between 4 and 6 channels that have been around for years. But then a huge surge in the last year. I mean, that's a lot. That's a COVID thing. Everyone's staying at home and making cocktails. But now I'm finding much more diverse things, like channels run by someone apart from white dudes, more channels run by women, more channels run by people of different ethnicities and whatnot. And a couple of people who really soldier on. English is clearly not their first language, and they present the videos in English, and it's like, go, dude. Yeah.
Good on him. Yeah.
There's one guy's Spanish. There's a black guy who lives in Italy, and English is clearly like a second or third language for him. He's very good, but it's the same deal. And there's a couple guys, I think they live in the USA, but they're like Mexican background. So, they have the suave, sexy accent, like, hello, I'm your personal partner. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah. So you get, and so I'm finding much more diversity now, which is good. And it's like people say, like diversity is important. You go, you're just, being politically correct. And go, no, if all you ever hear from is white dudes, it gets really boring after a while.
Yeah,
like,
it's fun to have diversity. Diversity is fun.
Yeah, because people just bring different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. It opens your mind, and, got to be open to experiences. I was wondering, actually, speaking of being open to experience, how are you enjoying that nostalgic nightclubbing in Sydney group?
Every now and then, the feels are so real, it's like full on. And for this, Nettie put me in a Facebook group, like Sydney nightlife from back in the day, because we were both in Sydney back in the day. So it's mainly about like 80s and 90s stuff. And every now and then, someone will post something, and I'll go, "Oh my god, You know, it was like the one that really got me was someone. Everyone's talking about which clubs they went to on, and someone says, "Yeah, but who went to Dean's for the giant nachos afterwards?" And I go, "Oh my god, oh my god, Dean's with the giant nachos! I did that so much, and I totally
never got the nachos. But no, hang on, Dean's is where you could, where they had the drawing paper and crayons at every table.
Yeah, and the old jukebox.
Yes. I went to the loo there, and I found it hard to come back out. May have been a little bit in an alternative frame of mind.
Yeah.
But the drawing at the table, that was great fun. Yeah. I'd never had any money, unfortunately, so I couldn't enjoy the big nachos. But I did enjoy the drawing on the table. I
did that heaps. And also, I used to love putting the girl from Ipanema on the jukebox.
Cool.
It was a really funny jukebox because it had half of it was really old stuff, and I mean like 50s and 60s stuff, and then half of it was sort of contemporary indie stuff. And I think I used to really annoy the shit out because there's just the girl from Ipanema. That's such a funny song, Deb. And I would always play it like, girl from Ipanema. Da, da. I think it used to really annoy the shit out of people when I played it. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. I really, someone brought up the Mansell Bar.
Oh, God, every now and then, yeah. Oof.
The Mansell Bar closed down and it became Springfields.
Yes.
And I had my 21st at Springfields.
Oh, my God, yeah.
That was too up Guess who turned up?
Who?
Anthony from the Chili Peppers, fresh off the plane.
Nice.
He just turned up, and I'm like, who's this wanker with the Chili Peppers fucking tattoos?
She's actually from the Chili Peppers, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a bit embarrassing in the end.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. There was one particular smallish nightclub in the Cross that friends of mine were actually involved in, and I'd go there with them. Prince went there one night, and I was like, woo! Cool. But you didn't actually get to talk to Prince or anything, but he was there.
Yeah.
Was there? Oh, someone talking about the Cardoma, aka the Dark Coma. I don't know for me, but those who don't know, this was in King's Cross in Sydney, and it was downstairs, and so you're in like a fucking basement, and it had an absurdly low ceiling. Like the ceiling was only about. I reckon it was only about 6'4". Like I think tall people would have had a very big. I'm a short ass, so it didn't bother me. But I think tall people would have a very bad time, and it had no fucking ventilation. And this was back when everyone smoked, so this place would just build up with smoke, and a layer of smoke would sort of build up from the ceiling down till it came down to about here. So yeah, some people called it the Dark Coma rather than the Cardoma. Me and my friends called it the carcinoma because you'd smoke even if you're a non-smoker, you'd smoke about 4 packets of cigarettes while you were in there. I mean, we were partying on, and there was you're in a circle with friends going woo woo, and there was another group of people who seemed to have fun, and a guy had a water pistol and was like squirting it in people's mouths. And I said, "Oh, what's that?" And it was like liquid speed or something, like he'd dissolved speed into the water. And it was like, "Yeah, and he like squirting it into her mouth." And it was like someone I'd never met before in my life who's got a water pistol and says it's speed, and you go, "Fair enough." Like, that is not particularly responsible. That is. That's not good.
Yeah, we were all just young and happy and open and free and being all careful and stuff. That was just for old people.
That was for old people, yes.
Yeah. We can trust ourselves and our peers. Yes.
Yeah, it was literally just, I've literally never seen you before in my life. But you all seem like nice people having fun, so why not? Yeah, let's do that. It's like if you went to raves and stuff, it'd be like with total strangers, but there was never at least not in the ones I went to, there was like never any aggro, and you just like, relate to everyone that you saw, because you were just in the state of mind where you wanted to relate to people.
Yes, indeed. And you got some great advice from people sometimes who were complete strangers, but who were just a little bit older. I remember being 18 at the New Year's Eve party for 1988, 89. No, I was 19. 1989 at the Horden Pavilion. They played a Love Shack at midnight.
Oof, yeah.
And it was the Love Shack. It was a mega huge Love Shack, and everybody had their jaws out.
Yes.
And you know what I mean?
It's like, this accent, yeah.
And a friend of mine made a mistake with her mathematics.
Right.
And just complete strangers were helping us out with the outcome.
Yeah.
What happened there.
Yeah.
And it was sweet in a way. Yeah, it was very sweet.
Yeah. Oh, I remember going to one New Year's Eve at the Horden, and someone dropped a pill. I just sort of picked up this clear plastic capsule with some grey powder in it, and I'm going, will I? I didn't in the end, but I was like, temptation is very strong, but I literally don't know what this is, and nah. I actually showed it to a couple of friends and was like, what do you reckon that is? And they were all sort of, grey powder in a capsule? And they go, could be there. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not taking it. No. Someone probably paid a lot of money for it and was really pissed off they dropped it. But I couldn't quite bring myself to just do I have no idea what this is.
I know some friends who found some orange pills in a plastic bag on the floor of the toilets at the big day out one year, sometime in the 90s.
Yeah.
And they went, should we? Yes. And they all took it.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
A whole bunch. Turned out to be Special K.
Oh, see, that's the thing. Like that would be bad enough, but it was like, what if it was GBH or something? And I was like, I'm not in the mood to get fucked up. And I was just like, nah. It was really tempting, and I'm like, nah, not doing it.
I mean, it could be anything, absolutely anything. But
couldn't you be someone with
a certain vibe? You believe that everyone around you is just beautiful, and no one would do anything bad. That's for those people on the outside of the party or the rave or the whatever.
Yeah. I just couldn't shake the feeling there was a possibility that this was a fucked up person's idea of a joke to put something particularly nasty and then throw it on the floor. I just couldn't shake the feeling that it was a possibility that someone was being nasty. And I went, I'm not prepared to take that risk. Probably if a complete stranger came up to me and went, yeah, it's MDMA, I probably would have gone, okay, yeah, sure.
I gave you a name for it and spoke to you as a human, but just leaving something around.
Yeah, just not. I like Kirsten's friend picked up a baggie of white powder on the floor in a nightclub, resold it for $100. See, that's entrepreneurial. That is entrepreneurial right there.
You can do that. Yep.
That is. Well, now that we've reveled in our misspent youth, it's bedtime.
Bedtime at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I know. It's
Jobs
just that. You've got to work tomorrow. So not that that's particularly fucking taxing at the moment. I swear to God, I was having a conversation with someone at home, like with all the weirdness of working from home and stuff. The one thing I would not have expected is I'm actually more productive working from home. I thought when it got to the stage we're all working from home, like everyone would just go, oh yeah, productivity is going to take a hit. And my team, we were getting so much done. Like we were basically told people couldn't cope with that much change, and we had to slow down what we were doing to get them used, rather than throwing a change out at them like once a month. We had to slow it down, and so we're like, okay, it's just weirdly working from home. We're getting, guys, because I guess because we had no distractions, it's just we're getting so much more done. So
yeah, because a lot of people say that they get lots more distractions at home.
And depending on your home situation, that could be a real thing. I think the people who've done it hardest for the last year are people who are completely alone because it's driving them crazy. People with kids under 5. That's apparently, I've got a couple friends who've got like 2 kids under 5, and that's like stressful as hell, apparently. And also someone who's just got a shit home situation, like a bad domestic situation, and they're stuck in it. But I feel terrible because I'm like, I'm super spoiled. I've been working, paid, I'm home, Mrs. Angry is at home, and it's nice having her here. Our various offspring, they're just doing uni online or doing, and they're, the youngest just hit 18. This year, all 3 of them will be at uni. So it's just like they're going to be completely, or they'll probably actually be going back to campus for at least some of the time. But yeah, all 3 of them, they're just self-contained. They look after themselves. They interact with their friends online. Oh God, I'm having there are 20-year-olds coming over tomorrow night. My lad's having a couple of his friends over tomorrow. So during the stream, there might be distractions during the stream tomorrow night, because the next room is going to have 3 to 6 20-year-olds. And I said I'd make them a punch. I've got a big drink dispenser. So I'll mix you up a big punch to keep you occupied.
But something you should put on your channel.
Yeah, a punch.
A good big punch for a party is something that people need. I mean, I need it. I need it for when I have multiple people over, if it ever happens. I want it to happen.
Yeah. This is not particularly sophisticated. I'm going to put some fruit juice and some lemonade, and essentially which bottles I want to empty there. Like, there's some tequila, there's some Bacardi. That'll probably keep you happy. Mix. Put a few big chunks of ice in there. You're set. There you go. It's not going to be
actually 20-year-olds are pretty easy to satisfy on that.
Yeah, so it's not going to be very soon. Yeah, see, Kirsten, you were full-time home with husband, getting cuddles and lunch, whatever. And in fact, Mrs. Angry was saying when we were both working in our various things, if she had a day, because she only worked a 3 or 4 day week, depending, she'd say, oh, we should have lunch. Like, she'd come into the city where I was working in the city and have lunch. And she brought it up the other day, we should do a lunch. And I said, yeah, we can do that. And we think, you can go in the city. It's the joy of working from home. It's like, if I fuck off for 2 hours in the middle of the day, I just make it up later. And it's just like, no one knows I've buggered off for 2 hours. And or we could just go to a local cafe. We could just go around the corner for lunch. But, just make we're having a little event. We're going out and having lunch. But
my neighbour down the road here, she lives on her own. She's in her late 50s. She works call center for a big electricity company.
Okay.
And she's doing that. She's been doing that at home. And her and her dog have bonded so hard now. Yeah, they're so cute. Anyway, I
think even our cats would be traumatized if we go back to working in the house. They'll just sort of wake up in the morning and go, wait, the humans aren't here. I wanted to sit next to them to get warmth.
That happened when I went away. When I went away up to Sydney to sort some business out for my mum. Apparently, the cats were like, meow, where is she? Meow. Around the house. They do it when any of us go out for a whole day. They find it bizarre. And when we get back, they meow in annoyance at us. So, meow, meow.
Yeah, we went away for 4 days before Christmas, and I was saying to my daughter, like, oh, yeah, just put a bit of food in the bowl. And I said, don't let them push you around because they'll start complaining after a while because the humans they're used to doing things for them aren't here. And, sure enough, we came back, and particularly Mimsy, the older cat, spent quite a bit of time just looking at us going, meow, meow, meow. Like, I'm really pissed off at you. Yeah, where have you been? Where have you been? Oh dear. All right. Actually, speaking of we've got that group chat set up. I want to talk about potentially going over your side again. Anyway, look, it's bedtime. It's bedtime.
It's bedtime.
That's okay. It's fun. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining us for August, and thanks for everyone in the chat. See you later. Like I said, tomorrow night could be real funny because there's going to be 20-year-olds in the next room. They might pop in. They might just harass me. Who knows? That'll
be cute.
They'll probably ignore me in all seriousness, but who knows? Anyway, see you later.